the strength of this hero, very similar to Visage, is the ability to lane in a lot of different positions, and more so, he could get a ton of different items. You know, we could sit here and debate about MP's item choice till the dawn comes up. Pretty much could buy anything that's available in the game. It'll have some sort of effect.
That might be tested. We'll have to see. GG grabbing the Veno, the Arteezy special. Elder Tainara with the Veno ult.
Yeah.
A lot of magic damage there. Some natural synergy.
And in particular, a very good hero against Visage. One of his strengths is the fact that he could keep his Gravekeeper's Cloak online and just wear off a lot of that damage. Venomancer breaks that cloak off fast. Gotta keep in mind, under those cloak, you have what is a 10% magic resistant as a base here. That is squishy as heck. Very strong counter pick in my opinion. Again.
Also a very vision-heavy lineup that we see out of EG. Selected so. All the minions now assemble. Familiars, the Treants, and the Wolves brought to bear. Lots of push potential here, lots of Roche taking potential. But as good as a push lineup as it looks, it's always hard to find high ground against Elder Titan. And, you know, that's to say
Bat
nothing
Rider,
of the Bat Rider and the
Veno,
Venom.
yeah,
They have a lot of D push.
The one thing I love about Team Liquid's draft is that if you could go back and look at their drafts for the past 6 months, and I have, one thing that always come into commonality or common factor is that they always have 1 or 2 pushing heroes. If it's not an MP, it's Shadow Shaman, or a Lone Druid, or a Lycan. Kuro never draft without push.
Or a Miracle Invoker is probably one of the other huge staples there.
And you compare it to, let's say, something that we casted just last game. You're like wondering, you know, where's this push coming from? You never need to worry about that when it comes to Team Liquid. And
it is heavy on the physical damage, so Wyvern could be a great solution for that.
Also a good solution against any kind of Zeus strat coming out of Lycan, right? If Lycan goes for the Necrobook build, ooh, get that curse in the middle, just gets absolutely destroyed. Good against the birds as well, if you want to put that into.
And it's more deep push. So EG, great stalling lineup here. Good against physical damage. But still no real carry. I guess at this point we're waiting on the Sumail hero. What comes to mind for you? Sumail heroes that like I always think of are like the Storm, the Lina. Probably the 2 biggest ones. Beyond that, you know, he can play a lot of different things. Anything jump out at you?
No, I can't really have one hero in mind be like, oh, this is the pick. Like, they could go into a lot of different directions depending on how they want to approach the game, whether you want...
Ember Spirit's another big one, I think, that we used to see a decent amount of.
Yeah. Ember is risky in the sense that you could get fissured and then the familiar drops on you and you could just die. It's very easy for MP to pick up a Orchid and that makes things difficult. Interesting in an Alchemist banned out. I guess Alchemist would have addition to the nice counter push with the Acid Spray.
Yeah, and also just a mega carry that I don't know that Liquid have the best single target burst to be able to out-damage that regen. So it's a Void last pick, which means who's playing what? It's really the question now. So Arteezy Veno has been normally the way they would run this.
I mean,
it's like a Sumail Bat or Void, or is it a Veno mid?
Is this the rumor Wyvern carry? I saw Ice tweeting about it, but I don't know if it's actually a thing. Because the shocks them, what the hell is going on, or if they already gotten a bunch of intel, you know, heard how EG is drafting, and this is like, oh yeah, we heard they were scrimming and doing that. Nothing too surprising. Liquid has been scrimming anti-mage mid, right? Like it's a thing that they've tinkered with the past. You do get an extra creep in the mid lane, so in theory you can put a hero like Faceless Void in the mid lane and just have him farm there. It's a new look for me personally, seeing Sumail playing the hero, but I'm sure he could definitely play.
So tri-lane mid Void,
or dual lane mid, you know.
I mean, none of these Liquid heroes are that devastating mid lane. Even Visage, you know, Void will be fine against it. Your Quelling Blade, you'll be able to CS pretty easily.
Ah! Alright. Matumba Man Brood.
Alright, we're all over the place. So it's a Miracle Lycan going mid. Matumba Man, Garuda Mind Control I mean, talk about the summons. Oh my god, that push hard.
Can you go mid with
it could be a
Brood
mid.
instead?
Brood can go mid, yeah, so...
Oh, let me tell you how. On spiders... Wait, no, it doesn't work on summons, right? It works on heroes and your own summons. No, I'm pretty sure it does work on summons.
It does work on spiders.
Yeah, Brood...
Unless they change something.
How spiders and how treants and how birds? How are they doing it?
Tongue twister. Oh dear. What is going on, Lumi? I've been thrown for a loop. You've got a Sumail Void. I mean, everyone's, you know, I even saw some tweets going out about the Universe Void earlier today, but this is, you know, the rumored new meta was the hard carry mids with the tri-lanes backing them up, or at least dual lanes. See if it works out. What a ratty lineup from Liquid. I just can't get over how
oh my god, can you
imagine
imagine?
They're going to be to play against.
Can you imagine how much damage Elder Titan's going to get off of Spirits? He's going to just run over like a zoo and a half of things. I gotta say, like, I think the volume of summons EG doesn't care about, right? Because you have things like Splinter Blast and you have things like Spirits and Stomp. They don't care how much
even
stuff
Firefly.
Yeah. Gonna hit everything.
So to counter it, got some big wombo combo from EG. Start things here on the Dire side. Radiant. Battle. Scriff. Fearless guide through this crazy, uncharted territory.
Yeah, if any kills are missed, it's
yeah. And also be sure to flame him.
Yeah. If he doesn't miss any kills,
Scriff on Twitter.
If he doesn't miss any kills, it's just he's doing a normal job. But if he does miss anything,
and if he does a good job, be sure to congratulate him at Wepis. let everyone know what a great job he's done. Yeah.
I always find it I don't know, a little weird that they put it in the beginning. It's so risky, right? What if you miss like level 1 Roche or something?
If you miss a level 1 Roche, I think you should actually be fired from your job as a dedicated observer. No hesitation.
You could be having an off day.
Fired.
Crit flies up in the air and mind control says, see ya. It's effective. Arctic Burn.
So, Lumi, this is a very unusual draft, at least for us. And I think, you know, coming into this tournament, certainly some unexpected picks and the strategy, the way they're looking to lane it. See Kuroki getting harassed a little bit here as he backs away with 3 napalm stacks on him. Oh, tanking the stapler might actually... Okay, DH comes in to assist. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about the lineups, the overall strategy. They're weird picks, yeah, but it does seem like each team has their clear like game plan in mind with what they've picked. I'll let you start.
I think a large part of how the early game will go is determined by Zai's rotation, because given on how many summons that are available, it's so easy for him to pick up a bunch of damage and run people. I don't think Visage and Shake, they're good at like kind of forcing kills and bursting people. They're not very good at keeping up with the rotation of Elder Titan. So I think he is the X factor for the early.
Yeah, looking at this offlane right now, I am a little concerned for Miracle and the Lycan. Seems like a good Batrider lane. There's not a whole lot to punish him. Yeah. You've got a support Visage and Shaker. There's pretty limited lockdown. You're not going to be able to hit him that hard because 2 of these heroes are melee. But Zai maybe could get punished as they're just going to look to auto-attack him, get the Fissure Block, Elder Titan low, but has that move speed. Trucks his way out of there. Now coming in from the flank is Crit, looking to lend an assist. They're going to punch GH down. Elder Titan stays alive and then actually limping forward, looking for Kuro too. Kill? This Batrider might find more. That's 5 napalm stacks it looked like, as end up going out 4 on Miracle. TP right back to the lane, so bottom lane looking very difficult. Meanwhile, the Dire Courier got sniped as Matumba Man type Steve to pick it off.
That's something I've noticed about Sumail. Like, whenever he delivers the Courier mid, there's just a good chance that the Courier just dies. Like, just walks into the lane a little bit too. But beautiful play by Crit there. Obviously, the rotation secured the kill, but the way that he uses the Arctic Burn, apply the debuff on 2 different heroes off of 2 different auto attacks, and ensure 2 kills. Sick play there.
I also like how EG is picking fights early because you're up against the Nature's Prophet. If you wait to take those fights, 4 or 5 minutes from now, likely Mind Control shows up, and Nature's Wrath might be in play at that point, and all of a sudden, instead of getting a kill or two, you're giving up multiple and potentially losing the tower off the back of that. So finding these early opportunities to me is extremely important for you.
Yeah, finding those opportunities before the levels, like you said, but also before the phase boots. Can you imagine, like 3 minutes in, Prophet shows up with phase boot teleport? Your hero's gonna just get ran down simply due to the fact that he has so much more damage and movement speed this stage of the game.
So, meanwhile in the middle lane, Matumba Man is playing the mid brood. We've actually not even officially acknowledged it, though you guys have seen it on screen. Thoughts on the mid brood this game, Lumi? Does it feel like a good opportunity? Should EG be doing anything to adjust for this? Matumba Man is free farming, and Mel seems to be having a pretty bad time so far.
I mean, what the hell is Avoid gonna do against Spiderling running in your face?
Beg his Elder Titan to come mid, I guess.
Yeah. Like, he won't die or anything, but he's actually making the walk of shame, and Matumba Man is gonna just take down this build. I think the bigger question to me, whether Matumba Man is... Because it's easy to win the lane, it's easy to push down the tier 1 tower, but moving forward, what distinguishes a good brood player and not so good one is your ability to play with your team and, you know, having the efficient farming and such things like that.
Good dive in the bottom lane as Pierogi gets picked off. This Batrider continues to ramp up the aggression, become more and more of a problem as Miracle is roasting under this tower. He is getting absolutely bullied. 7 CS on the Lycan, multiple deaths to his team's name here. Still no sign of that assist from Mind Control. I mean, at some point you'd love to see the Prophet come in. Now he has the phase boot, so perhaps the next time EG go for the dive, he will be in play. But for now, historically, Batrider has been very good at punishing certain melee heroes in the safe lane, and the Lycan is definitely on that list, especially without the right supports to back him up. And I would not call Shaker one of them.
Or Visage. One of the problem with Visage is that you need to find a good lane for him to get levels. He tends to do very little until he hits like level 4, 5, 6. And I just don't see where he is going to get that level.
Of course, to some extent, I feel like this is a game where Lycan can come back because the rest of the team also pushes. So they're going to go, EG's going to go defend somewhere, and then the Lycan's either going to be able to farm the jungle, take a tower. Like, they're guaranteed, unless they completely raffle stop, to take most of these outer towers, you know, within the first 20, 30 minutes. And he will be able to get a decent chunk of gold through that. Maybe the Roshan is open to... It's still a really slow start for safe lane Lycan has been getting help.
Yeah.
And it is very much due to the matchup.
I think to me this game for Team Liquid is going to be on the shoulder of Mind Control. Well, they are the ones that are getting the good lane. In fact, if you look at the top lane, Mind Control is up half a level, perhaps even a full level over RTZ. He's got the Wrath, and I think with the Wrath available, EG is not afraid. Or sorry, EG should be very afraid if they're going for it.
And Liquid is much less afraid of that dive. Yeah, and that's the beauty of it, is kind of like when teams used to, you know, back in the old LGD International days where they would push with the Eclipse up on the Luna. It was all about, like, the threat of the Eclipse more than actually using it. And that's kind of true here, where for Mind Control, it's great if they don't fight and he just has the Wrath ready and EG are set back on their heels. And for EG, no Chronosphere just yet for Sumail. Batrider, of course, won't have the Blink for a little while yet. And no Venomancer ult, so the push can commence, and it will do so now. Mind Control gets to work. Tower's about to drop. The way to the jungle begins to lie more and more open. Meanwhile, that mid tower has been poked at a little bit, so might see that Prophet make a move towards mid soon and try and pressure Sumail's tower a bit.
I wonder how much of the level advantage is due to the fact that Mind Control has been taking Serpent Wards one after another. Or Plague Wards, rather.
He's hitting a lot of creeps too, though, because you look at the actual raw gold advantage for him, and he's up 1,300 gold already, so obviously Plague Wards don't give all that much. A lot of just last hits. How do you like the item choice? He's going Orchid first, it seems.
I think it's great, right? The enemy core is a Void. You have to kill him. If you could get a kill on Veno before he pops his skills.
Or even the Wyvern so he can't
before save,
Cold Embrace or, you know. Yeah, I agree. I think it's a strong...
I think if your team is having a little bit more issues, you might want to consider things like drums or even medallions just to help out early, but the team is doing relatively fine. Lycan has stabilized the bottom lane. Visage is starting to pick up a couple of points of levels. that he could start to think about more of the mid game.
Action breaking out mid. They do commit the How. GH gets off the fissure. Sumail's gonna die under the tower. An easy double for Matumba, man. What a catastrophe for EG. Now the spiders march in. Mind control summons the Treants, and the zoo suddenly spawns from out of nowhere. Instantly, this tower is under huge threat.
Hey, we already talked about the Wrath of Nature, and you gotta be very careful with those dives. The Chronosphere committed. They thought they could get the kills.
And the scary thing, Lumi, is it's a long cooldown. They've got a minute and a half of free pushing, free farming, where Sumail not only can't make offensive plays, but can't easily defend the towers. But in the bottom lane, Zai tries to get aggressive here. Kuro, two-punch, man, gets the job done. He'll have his own TV show. Zai, beautiful as he is. He's not quite there.
If Script could switch over to Lasset real fast, the funniest things that are Wyvern, played by Crit, has like 42 CS. Because he's on the mid lane just splinter blasting spiders nonstop. He will continue to do so this game.
There's likely to be a very farmed pair of supports, right, between the Wyvern and the Elder Titan. If they get their levels here, already level 5 on Crit, Zai's still only level 3 at 8 minutes. That's a bit of a concern as Sumail's going to move in onto Miracle. Force out the TP. Back away. Are we going to see a lane swap here?
Bottom, Kuro may be in a little bit of trouble.
They're just not having a whole lot of fun. Nobody seems too interested in helping him. Matumba Man's busy pressuring in the mid lane. Shows no signs of support. Universe just slowly getting off those auto attacks. They will secure the kill. This is the no-fly zone. This is like the one lane that just nobody wants to be in. Everyone who goes here for Liquid has a bad time. Even the Lycan has also abandoned it. He's just farming top now.
Matumba Man going in with spiders. Very, very technical item progression.
Yeah, so Lycan just takes over top. Like, I mean, do you care if you're Liquid that nobody can farm bottom? Are you okay just giving that up?
I think so, because look at how effective Liquid could utilize the jungle, right? Like, it's so easy for Matumba Man just send a wave in, Prophet can make tree somewhere and farm. I mean, eventually somebody's going to farm bottom, but it's okay for them to miss a couple waves. Zai might be in a little bit of trouble here.
GH in pursuit. Nature's Prophet coming in, does drop the Spirit. Now the Sprout tried to block him off, couldn't quite do it. The Fissure comes through, actually helps Zai. With the Sprout, there was only a narrow tunnel that pursued him through. Back to safety. Missed opportunity there.
How worried are you about the Veno pick? Because one of the knock against Veno is that, yeah, he deals a ton of damage, but at the same time, he also doesn't scale amazingly into the late game. Generally, EG as a team, very good at playing around the strength, timing of the Venomancer, but I feel like given their laning stage and early game, I don't think they could utilize the Veno timing that well.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think Arteezy is going to be the driving force of this game. I really think it's Universe who's going to be making the plays, and that's what he looks to do now in the mid lane. Gets the last off on Matumba Man. They also commit the Chrono here. Timed well by Sumail. Right as the TPs come through. The Veno ult layered over top of this. They're going to get the Matumba Man kill, but now the Echo. Follow-up isn't there. The Winter's, or the save rather, coming through from Crit. First the Winter's Curse, and then the Cold Embrace, keeping Sumail alive, finding them a 2-for-1 trade, and that's down, who's been having a great time here. Nice victory. Now, if you're Liquid, you're probably thinking, oh, those ults aren't cool. Time for us to go and push.
Yep. I mean, at the same time, even those ults are down, EG has, like we pointed out many times already, very good spam. So you could set up shop at a tower, but you know, the Spirit comes in, a Stomp comes in, a Splinter Blast comes in, all your summons are dead. So I don't think it's one of those scenarios where, okay, ults are down, we are going to take 2 objectives. Even though Liquid definitely wants to do that. Another silver lining for that fight is that Visage turned level 6. So he is going to start to deploy more damage. So we're going to watch this fight one more time. The one thing that we need to remember for the Team Liquid team fight is that all of the control is just a fissure. If you could survive that fissure, counter-initiate or initiate, then you're going to be off to a great shape. And I think that's something that EG definitely could exploit over and over again.
I do want to say I think that fight was won by Crit with really good Cold Embrace and Winter's Curse time to interrupt the Shaker when he's trying to combo the Void. So really nice Wyvern play there, made a huge difference. Perhaps a sign of things to come that Cold Embrace shuts down the vast majority of Liquid's damage as they make a move here on Sumail. Nice familiar stunts combo with the Desolator damage to get the kill. Man rushing the naked Deso on the Brute. This could open the way for an approach, but first, lower hanging fruit. They want this tier 1 mid, they're going to get it. And I was going to say right before that, felt like I feel that tier 1 is so crucial this game for the Roche control, like for being able to take over this EG jungle. Now all of a sudden, your whole summon army can pretty much go wherever they want. The tier 2 top is down, the tier 1 mid has been cracked. And so EG's jungle is about to be invaded by a lot of webs, a lot of wolves, a horde of trees.
Like they're gonna find Kuro. That rider jumps forward.
Some free pickoffs here and there. Familiar's also getting farmed up. This is one of those games where you really want a gold stat on like how much in the way of summons has been fed.
For sure.
Like the illusion gold stats are nice, you know, the minion gold stats game, I think.
Yeah, there's just so many things dying. I talked about the Plague Ward, the spiders, I guess the treants.
Overall game plan wise, Lumi, do you feel either team's done a better job at accomplishing their goals? We hit the 13-minute mark, pretty even on paper as far as net worth goes. Slight Liquid advantage.
I think I've definitely underestimated what the Dire support could do. Like, the Wyvern, to me, has done a lot more than expected. Zai, I expect him to do a lot, and he did. I think moving towards the mid-game, Liquid is not going to be winning it in a 5v5 teamfight scenario. They need to rat, because I don't think they could beat Winter's Curse, Venomancer ult, and Chronosphere. So, it's more about splitting up for Liquid and finding picks.
The one way they could maybe take those fights is if GH gets a big echo, and he does have a Blink Dagger coming soon.
But that echo better catch like 4 or something, because that's it, right? That's the one-shot, big burst kind of thing.
Imagine a PG innings.
I think the server will just crash.
The game just instantly breaks. That would be a giant hole opens up in the middle of Seattle itself. The arena gets sucked. That doesn't happen. I mean, Valve always has some new crazy trick. Here goes Light of Heaven with this classic shrine.
For anybody that doesn't watch Dota too much, Light of Heaven, TI champion, notoriously for clicking shrines whenever he can, for absolutely no reason.
And seemingly just like out of nowhere too. It's never like, oh, there's like action happening at the shrine. Someone needs to heal. They are going to go in now on Matumba Man. They get the lasso off, pop the dust as well. But he just scurries away to freedom. They don't want to commit too far for this. G now down the lasso. They've got all the other big AoE ults available. Will stagger back and retreat. So Mother now picking up the madness to go with that Desolator. And they do get the silence here on crit. How far do they want to dive though? That is a risky place to chase. They are not going to dare walk up that cliff.
Alright, so as the spirit goes back to Zai, I want to see how much damage he has. Casual 222 plus damage. You're wondering why he's doing so much work. This is why. Like,
yeah, we mentioned there's going to be farm supports, and you're already starting to see a Kuroki as the Visage. Not doing so hot, 1900 net worth. Meanwhile, the Wyvern and the Elder Titan both almost doubling him up. Okay, we'll find our teasing now. Familiar's coming in, gets off the Poison Nova, and munched up, chewed up. Will be finished off. Miracle, one last auto attack gets the kill, and now the chase is on. They want Zai as well. Sprout comes through. Oh! There, no chrono for you, sir. Sumail gets denied, and with that, the Elder Titan will fall. And now it's a full-on route. Crit has to commit the Winter's Curse. Try to retreat. Goes for the TP out of the trees. 1-2 more auto attacks would do it, but they're not going to find him in time. Brood Mama cometh, though. Diving onto Sumail. They get the long-range Orchid Silence. Can they chase him down with the Deso auto attacks? The Mask of Madness.
Oh, the
attack
birds.
speed, not enough. Crit saves the day. Salvages it for EG, but only for now. They will lose 3. They never got off the chrono that entire fight.
Man, GH playing like a god there. Multiple chain stun to make sure that the boy has a tough time. Looks like he is going to pay for it. That will be a kill.
Even gods can believe it. GH has definitely been the most impressive addition to any team that I've seen in a long time. Coming up, like filling some, relatively big shoes for Liquid on a team that had huge aspirations, and quite a few games where I feel like GH has almost single-handedly thrown the team on his back. So.
Oh, for sure. To me, he's not just filling shoes. He's perhaps even excelling.
He's got his own line.
Yeah. Like, you know, we talked about Afu filling shoes for Zhao Wei earlier today for Alpha Y. We watched the team fight again. GH just perfect chain stun to prevent this Sumail chrono.
And that could have been like a 3-4 hero chrono into a Winter's Curse, and instead it's just a route, and EG completely forward on the back foot.
Although, to be fair, even if it was a 4-man chrono, I'm not sure how much damage.
Well, they had Poison Nova on 2 heroes at least, I think. It would have been an interesting fight at that point. So yeah, how do we see the game developing from here with that little addition? Now they have the Blink Dagger ready for GH. They checking through the item builds on Liquid. It looks like Mind Control did go back for a Shadow Blade, trying to play the Silver Edge. Nothing else really unusual that I noticed. I'm wondering when Liquid will try for the Roshan. That's probably the big thing for me.
Sure.
Because they do have the tower control around it, but in the top lane they make a committed jump here onto Arteezy. And as often seems to be the case, the safe lane poor Venno just ends up dying a lot.
I mean, it's just the way that you have to play this hero. You kind of have to play forward, put down wards, and just be a threat always, or be an annoying at the very least. And as a result, he's in a very exposed position that gets picked off multiple times.
And that's fine when you have, like, I don't know, a Sumail Storm or something that you know is a ticking time bomb. Is a Sumail Void at 5,500 net worth in 19 minutes really that kind of a time bomb?
Not yet, but he can be. And he needs to be eventually. Chain stun happening against Zai. He's got a big streak. Can he survive? No, he won't. Mind control.
While that was happening, Matumba Man also running down crit. The supports get butchered. Sumail on his heels. He's going to time walk into the trees, but still being chased. Does have the teleport scroll, but knows that Fissure is there. They silence him. They drop the Sprout, get that little bit of vision. Now the Fissure's committed, and he should pop soul burn damage. And all the while, Matumba Man shoving in this middle lane. Liquid flexing on EG now, looking for the additional tower takedowns, but
yep.
Doesn't seem like they'll have quite the time for it. They're still big. Team fight ults up, and EG supports are respawning, so they'll be content with their victory here and just keep farming the enemy wood.
And LD, you were asking, what's the game plan for EG? That is, or not EG, Liquid. That what we saw is just the game plan. You don't take 5v5 team fights. You take kind of random skirmishes in the jungle. Use your mobility of the Lycan, of the Nature's Prophet, and now the Blink Shaker, and just run them over. Like, I think EG is very strong, grouped up as 5, but much less strong, much weaker actually, when, you know, it's just a 2v2 or a 2v3 in the jungle.
Starting to get out-farmed pretty heavily now. No Midases for EG. Extra hero points of, like, every single hero has gone for early to mid-game items that'll help them take fights now. And as a result, losing these fights, losing map control, getting out-farmed, they are starting to fall behind. With looking at some big pickups soon. BKB almost ready for Matumba Man. BKB coming for Miracle. Completed Silver Edge is not far off for Mind Control. I already mentioned the Blink on the Shaker. Everybody except for Kuro is getting a lot of farm.
Mind Control dodges from a 5-man smoke gang, puts bottom, and now will start to apply pressure. I mean, this is the reason why Liquid is 4-0 right now. They're making all the right plays.
Tough situation for EG because their way of making a play is almost exclusively finding hero kills or taking a team fight. They really can't just like split push or, I don't know, sneak a Roshan.
Yep.
They don't have the heroes for that, so their options are quite limited on how to get back in the game.
I think if they were more even or ahead, like they can actually just like play it slow. But because they're down by, you know, 7k net worth, they need to be actively seeking kills. Let's imagine for a second that Liquid...
But doing that's hard, right? Because Liquid's vision game is so strong. They have Spiderlings, Wolves, Treants,
everything.
Shadow Blade, Nature's Prophet, Familiars. Like, half the map should constantly be covered with summons.
And your timing window of finding these ganks is also small because if you leave the lanes for too long, you know, you got summons in front of your buildings. And
then, you're actually losing objectives at that point.
And it's also becoming painfully obvious that you're trying to smoke gank Liquid, so...
A lot of pressure on EG. Like, they have to pick exactly the right times, they have to smoke in the right direction, and they have to do so quickly. If they spend too long looking for that kill, they're likely to just get scouted out or punished elsewhere.
And right now, given the nature of the game state, the room for error is just amazingly small. you lose a team fight in front of your tier 2 against this team, you're losing Raxus. Like, there's just so much push, the Howl on all of the summons. I haven't seen it yet, but...
Universe does find an opening here. Lasso's up on top of man. Can they control him? He's got a BKB, but won't be able to use it here. Gets locked down by Sumail. Likely finished off. The Earth Splitter secures it. Chrono Earth Splitter, Lasso all down. Big Brood kill. No buyback out for a minute. So by the time he comes back, maybe a minute or so until those big ultimates are ready.
I wonder how Cavalier and Liquid would feel like with all those full on cooldown. Maybe they could think about taking Roshan, or go for a pick mind control on the bottom. Good Glimmer Cave.
If they want to Roche, they'll definitely have time for when he respawns. It'll be about 50 seconds before the chrono is even up. But they'll have to be decisive. Dilly dally, and all of a sudden, that will not be the case as Arteezy is going to duke it out in the jungle here. He commits the Poison Nova, but again, it's GH ready to spring the trap. Liquid were smoking in this direction, anticipating EG's movements. Miracle is dangerously low, but has the armlet toggle available. Should be enough to save his life. That armlet on, await out the poison damage, and then got back to safety. So, again, Liquid just feeling like they know what moves EG wants to make, and being able to either anticipate them or react extremely quickly.
Yep. And
that should probably set up for this roast. Poison Nova on cooldown, no chrono for 50 seconds if they want to go for it.
Got the Medallion for Visage, obviously, and look at Roshan drop. One of the interaction that we haven't mentioned, and we definitely should, is the fact that Howl is such a good way to kind of soften the blow from the Venomancer ultimate. Essentially acts as a mech for nighttime. You saw it, being instrumental in terms of surviving against.
Looking for when Liquid has their full complement of heroes and summons all grouped up and really trying to take a big fight. But for now, they're content with that Roche. Do imagine they're going to try and keep the map spread here. I doubt we see all 5 marching down mid, but maybe 2 or 3 there, 1 or 2 in the other side lane. Complete the Silver Edge of Mind Control. Items continue to pile in, the double BKB. Well, actually, no, Miracle changed his mind about the BKB. Went for a Reverence.
Okay, going for the heart, being tanky. Now, for EG fans out there, I think one thing that EG can still hold on to is their insane high ground defense, right? We talked about it during the draft, Vano wards. Crit? Oh, well, that is part of their high ground defense.
Look at this, the Wolf just on the high ground scouting Sumail. There's another one that's following Arteezy back into the base. He's not even bothering to use the Wolves to farm anymore. They are purely there to keep eyes on EG. And historically, Lumi, when Lycan used to be a really popular pick, Gem was considered absolutely mandatory for countering him.
Yep.
Right now, no Gem for EG, so...
Speaking of Gem, Liquid's got one of their own on the courier right now. Being sent back. Liquid GH used it to deward a bit.
That was the one that EG had earlier. Universe had one previously, and now it's been stolen. But yeah, without the Gem, they're like the Lycan is a real problem. The Brood is quite annoying. Even the Nature's Prophet with the Silver Edge. Like you've got 3 heroes / units that are constantly running around invis, scouting you out. And here. Now that all that said, EG's high ground is extremely difficult to crack if they're full complement of ability.
Right, if they're alive. And I think, what we saw, like killing the Wyvern, for example, are the other plays that Liquid's going to go for. They're not going to push high ground when all 5 EG's alive. They're going to...
And if they do, it's not going to be all 5 in one lane. It's going to be 1 core in each lane, and, who knows what else the familiars are up to. Rotation up top. Mind Control trying to make a move here on Sumail. Sprouts him in, silences him, and harassing him for now. Sumail's like, you man. So that he can actually kill an MP this farm. 2,300 health. Quelling Blade.
Yeah, he's got it. He's fine. I'm sure Arteezy's gave him the lesson.
Well, all that's happening. The real action is in mid. Matumbaman charging in, marching on the Zai, trying to breed him down. They've already finished off the Wyvern. Multiple bashes there, but the silence against now he rotates mid. Mind Control there to greet him.
Well, Wyvern's dead. That's a big part of the base defense. No Splinter Blast, no threat of the curse.
That's the thing, right? Like, it looked like it's just kind of funny what Mind Control's doing top, but that also is setting up for these plays elsewhere on the map.
Yeah.
And then he's instantly there to join the fight. his BKB almost complete as well. So seems like Liquid evaluated this game and said, if we get mass BKBs, EG will not be able to kill our cores very easily in team fights. And this Void is just not that far. Bloomy doesn't even have a mat to complete. He's really the only source of physical damage. I mean, aside from the Elder Titan, you know, you talk theoretically about how much damage you'd get from the Spirit, but practice, not even a max Spirit, and I don't think Zai's going to be hitting much in fights.
Yeah, that's the thing. He is getting a ton of damage. It's more that whether he could go in and actually right-click people. And so far, it doesn't seem like that's the case.
I love these multiple BKBs. If they get them off, like they're just not going to die.
Yeah, BKB is so effective in this game. Like, Void right now isn't doing enough physical damage on his own. AG is pretty much all magical apart from the Void, right? Even Winter's Curse, the BKB will block the effects of it in terms of, like, having your teammates, or having you, like, forcing to hit your teammates. Which, super effective.
Is there, like, a late game opportunity here for EG? Can they just turtle up, batten down the hatches, and aim to take this 40, 50, 60 minutes? Do you think their odds improve at that stage?
I don't think so. I just think that there's a lot of room for Liquid to grow.
Like, Visage is building towards the Zags.
Yeah.
Build some item slots here on all of the cores. You've got Veno, who doesn't really... I mean, I guess on paper scales pretty well once the BKBs are lower. Building towards Nags. You've got Elder Titan, who's pretty good late game.
Okay, Bat Rider on top lane. Get something going.
Beware of the bat, but Miracle's on the case. Suddenly Universe just wants to get the hell out of dodge. 2, 3, more auto attacks, and he would be down, but the evasion was there from the Solar Crest, so instead crit. This is the sacrifice. Miracle racing forward.
But here's the thing.
The Wyvern is almost a bigger deal than the Bat Rider, especially because Lasso was used. Now they don't have Winter's Curse for the high ground defense. And all the while, they're ratting bottom. Matumba Man was forced to BKB. But here we go. They're going to pull EG apart at the seams.
Yeah, bottom, the Treants are still going on the building. Top is hitting the building as well. Rat Dota fully employed. The tier 3 should go down here. Miracle might actually get stunned up. His Aegis has been triggered, but he's got the heart, so he's just so damn tanky.
They need Sumail top to take a big head-on fight. They really need that Chronosphere, but Sumail is not there yet. The Fissure comes through, buying them time. GH ready with the Echo. They do get the Miracle kill. Earth Splitter, the rescue.
But bottom, though, Matumba Man's on the tier 3 as well. Now, trading your, I guess, your position on Lycan for just a little bit of tower damage is not that good of a trade, but...
They just did about 2,700 HP and tier 3 tower damage.
Yeah.
And they lost the Lycan for it.
The thing is, like, sure, you lost your Lycan, but what is the punish? Like, is EG going to run down mid and take some objective? No. They're not going to be able to get Roche, so even though that was not the best play for Team Liquid, they're just not going to be punished for it. And to me, Crit needs to watch his positioning. To me, he's probably, like, position 2 in terms of how important he is in terms of a defense. He cannot get picked off.
Yeah, almost certainly the Veno is going to be able to get his ult off, and then after that it really doesn't matter. The Bat Rider is expendable once he's gotten the lasso initiation. It's really the Wyvern who has to sit back and wait for an opportune time to get the Cold Embrace or the Curse off. That was... You can kind of understand, like, Crit wants to help keep Universe alive. He's being chased. He is a core, but... I agree with you. I think he's probably their second most important hero after the Void for defending the base.
Top lane here. RTZ gonna get caught, and Echo Slam hits, I think, nothing?
I think some of the damage hit him, but didn't even get the Aftershock.
I believe the Wrath of Nature just actually clipped Universe on bottom, gets a kill. Matumba Man's in the base right now, and, well, backdoor protection is
base created, and they're going to go bottom for him, and that means Liquid opportunity here in the top lane. They'll get to work with the Enchant Totem. They'll bring that tower down. The base is collapsing. EG having a rough start here at the International, and it might just be getting rougher. Liquid, meanwhile, surging forward. They want these objectives. Have they gotten too cocky in going for them, though? Miracle's got to get the hell out of there. EG hold the line for now. They've committed most of their big ultimates, but the bottom lane's been caved in. But Tumbleman racing towards the next objective as he struts up on the tier 2. Mind Control joins the party as well. He will be controlled for now by Sumail getting the bashes, but all space created. The Treant's working on the melee rack. The Spider's working on the mid, and everywhere you look, Liquid are just chewing apart at EG. They've given up 3 heroes, and they have indisputably taken a massive victory in this fight. Not often you would say that.
Yeah, I mean, had they lost a Lycan, you would be like, oh, maybe that was a little bit sloppy, but it doesn't even matter. Liquid now is just pulling them apart. And like I mentioned so many times now, EG just want to take a 5v fight, and Liquid would never give it to them. They would just keep splitting open, push top, middle, bottom.
Now shrines are going to go down.
Yeah.
Your base is increasingly open to the next assault. And
how many Raxes are left? Two range Raxes?
2 ranged. Very bleak.
So where do you think it went wrong for EG? To me, it was the final pick of the Void. I just don't think it did much of anything. Or do you see it differently?
Yeah, no, I don't really know how they were supposed to have a decent laning stage. Like we even mentioned, you know, Brood could well be going mid, as Liquid picked that, and I mean maybe Veno does okay. Like the Batrider won his lane as expected.
They didn't know the Brood was coming, right? Like so, I guess
that's true. But
the Brood was the final pick.
I don't know, I just don't think... I think the way... When EG picked this type of lineup, right? They have the Venomancer for Arteezy, a very selfless hero. You've got a Space Creator for Universe. The Batrider, you know, it's not like an offlane Void or something for him. They don't really have a support who can transition into carry. Basically, your whole lineup is built around a Sumail's hero getting ultra fat.
Yeah.
And it was a Void against the Broodmother mid. Like, he's not going to win that lane. Certainly not without help. And even if he does... Can a Void actually carry this game? Like he's so reliant on the ult, which is a very long cooldown.
Not in 30 minutes.
And
right?
you're up against heroes that love to take lots of little fights. So I just think strategically it was always going to be hard for EG based on that. But that said, Liquid have played it extremely well. Here they go on Matumba Man. They smoke up. They make a big committed dive and they try, but already the TP goes onto the mid tier 3. They're looking for the rat. Even if they lose this fight, Liquid might well just win the game. It's the war, not the battle, that they're concerned with as the Echo gets dropped. Sumail almost finished off, but Crit able to keep him alive. Courtesy of that Cold Embrace, still he's stunned, still he's controlled, glimmered up. What more can Crit possibly do? Well, be 2 places at once. That's something that he can't do. Mind Control puts a cap on it. That's Mega's, boys, and that's likely the game.
All right, Liquid is, they're gonna kill hero now. They don't really care about buildings anymore. There are no buildings. Crit on the run. He's probably gonna survive, but does it even matter?
Effigies are falling. EG is getting peppered from all sides by little pokes, death by 1,000 cuts. And Lumi, you know, I have to say Admiral Bulldog might not have made it here to the International in body, but I think his legacy lives on in spirit.
Yeah. In more than one ways.
Liquid paying quite the tribute.
We saw a lot of self-debating from Cloud9. I think there's definitely a lot of Admiral Bulldog spirit in that as well. But Team Liquid,
I don't know that I've seen anyone execute Rat this well since those TI3 days. This is masterful performance this far.
I mean, I don't want to take anything away from Liquid, but to me, I think the strategy that EG employed is just not going to be able to fight Liquid on the same axis. Liquid wants to play against a team that groups up, because they're not going to group up against you. They're going to split open. And EG with the Void final pick, the reason I don't like it, it's not the fact that he can't carry against his team, it's that he forces his team to group up. Like, for a Void to fight, he has to group up with his team. I think, you know, a Storm-esque hero where he's going off to do his own thing to actually punish the split push might be better. Now, obviously Storm was banned, but I don't know, Ember or anything that just is so more mobile and could solo kill.
Maybe that is part of the issue, is EG might have thought about it and they're like, well, we just don't know what that hero is. You know?
I think you mentioned Ember during the draft.
Yeah. Would Ember have been...
It would have been better than this, I think.
I think so. I think so too. But I don't feel like it would have been Storm in terms of definitely being able to take over and carry the game.
Right.
Anyway, that's all water under the bridge now. All EG have left is this shamble of a base with just a few outer structures, and GH, dagger to the heart. He drops the totem, gets to work. Meanwhile, Arteezy's getting chewed up by Miracle. Take that, he says. Now 3 down, Munch through. They've used all their ultimates. They're out of options here, and the boys in blue are going to drop another one on day 1. Liquid say, we're the real boys in blue now. They'll take EG down, and with that, they will 1-0 lead, and they are 5-0 on the day.
Wow.
I think that's wow-worthy.
Yeah, that is actually wow-worthy. Doing it against EG as well. Coming in there, we know that these are the 2 of the top teams.
I love how, I will say one thing I like about this Liquid team, they just look so business-like after a win. You know, like in the group stage, obviously you want teams to celebrate and enjoy it at the main event, and they did that, I think, at Epicenter we saw that, but, you know, they're
they're not like, oh yeah, we beat OG or EG. You know, like they're focused on the task at hand.
You think this is the Kuro effect? You know, he's been into every TI. He's seen everything. You know,
it definitely feels like the whole team has a bit of Kuro in them.
Yeah, yeah. Well, of course, he's the captain.
Yeah, you would hope so.
Yeah. It's like, you know, we won this game, but we could have won it, you know, 5 minutes sooner. That's what Kuro was thinking to himself, telling his teammates. Let's do better next game.
So, speaking of that next game, any big adjustments you would want to see here? Like, if you could fix one thing, is it mainly just the draft? Is it something in the execution? It sounds like we're both kind of leaning towards they just got caught off guard by the draft more than anything.
I mean, I've never seen this kind of all-in death ball push, but it wasn't a death ball at all. It was just...
It was all in push, but not all in death ball.
Exactly.
Yeah. And Liquid also executed it well. It felt like there were opportunities where if they got too cocky, they grouped up too much, EG really could have punished them in that first 15 to 20 minutes, but they were very disciplined about it.
Very educational game.
Yeah. Perhaps a lot of it the influence of the coach. But with that, guys, game one, a wrap now. Liquid, 5-0 on the day. They're going to try to make it a clean sweep, make it 6-0. EG, they'll look to battle back. Stay tuned.
Turn to ban.
Most part have the vision advantage in this game unless you get behind. Kunkka though was pretty damn impressive from Empire in that last game. He didn't really have
it was good, yeah.
an explosive like mid game, I would say, but the laning phase was where it just let Resolution get out of control, and then the damage was done.
They just play with it really as a team, you know, just having that synergy between the SD and just even the cheeky little plays at the end with the puck, just allowing FN to go up to the high ground and sort of just open up Infamous for the chance to actually go up and take those tier 3.
Yep. Solid hero, I think that people... I don't think teams really... Maybe some teams sleep on it, but I know a lot of teams, especially at this tournament, really favor it. I know EG really likes this hero. I even know OG loves this hero too. So it's not too much of a surprise to see it being picked up when it's the X. The X cooldown just gets so ridiculous for chasing.
I mean, just X as a spell is pretty ridiculous. It's... I mean, it's a better Glimpse, isn't it? Is there? I mean, what is better about Glimpse than X-Mark? Is there anything that you could argue? I mean, I guess it's slightly different in the fact that you drag back someone to where they weren't when you casted the spell.
Yeah, it's different. You can do it from super far away too. It's 1800
at max level. What's the range on X-Mark to max? It's not. Yeah, I know it's not quite.
Not that far. No.
It's not that.
800 or 1000.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a lot. I'm not disappointed we don't see as much. Just some of these CIS sides are really good. I'm pretty sure Empire. You see how well the Kunkka's played. Definitely wouldn't be surprised if Maposhka could whip Disruptor, but definitely as a whole, it obviously seems the Kunkka favoured hero.
You can also use the Glimpse to send people away. Well, you can't do that as
That's
Kunkka,
true.
right? That's
yeah,
the big
okay.
one, where it's someone TPing in, you can't X them and throw them away. The Glimpse just sends them the hell out.
I guess they're certainly got different. A Shadow Shaman. It's going to be grabbed this time around by Empire. We saw Infamous pull it out last game, and let's get a few cheeky plays off with it. Tower.
Yep. Definitely the most favorable 5 hero in this tournament period.
Definitely a hero though that I feel already that the Night Stalker vibe is not necessarily a super nice game to pick the Shaman in. You know, sometimes see it. It's like, this is fantastic. They're going to have that catch and such, but these are 2 beefy heroes, and beefy heroes as well. You know, if they get a little bit of poison on that Shaman, or a crippling fear, or a void, they're going to be chasing. Oh, and there we go. I mean, I'm talking
about the Disruptor, and we get it for
this happened earlier when what was their hero?
We're talking about Slardar.
We were talking about Slardar, and they picked a Slardar. I'm talking about Disruptor, and we see a Disruptor in this game. I mean, maybe I'm going to see it. I'm saying there's similar spells. We're going to see what wins the game, Glimpses or X-Marks. I'm totally down for this one.
Yeah, we were mentioning the vision with Night Stalker. That could be really good. You get the vision with Night Stalker. Disruptor can get the Glimpses up a lot easier.
Yes, that's
and it's
really
also
nice.
Great versus Puck and Kunkka. If they do get into that position, that the silence is incredibly strong versus Puck.
See that. You have it, ladies and gentlemen.
What are the odds of that, right? Two games now that we talk about a hero.
And these are heroes. They really don't come up. In general, I want to say this is probably. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the first Disruptor pick of the day.
I haven't seen all the games, of course. But I think
sure,
it might be one of the. This is a Puck and Invoker on the same team, so Puck off lane.
Okay.
And they're going to be doing FN mid.
Obviously, very nice with the Kunkka setup. What we got? What are you thinking?
I was just thinking of like a joke. It's just like I see Invoker and I think Resolution. I'm just like the throwback to Navi. Navi Resolution, Invoker mid, get double Form Spirit Necro book.
I was trying to remember in the past what Rezo. Was he a mid-turn carry, or was he a carry before he started that period where he played mid?
Carry before mid.
He was carry before mid, and then went back to carry.
I think.
Because he played mid for quite a while.
I do remember him playing mid for a while, but I remember him playing carry too.
Because when he was on Empire, he was the mid player all the time, was it?
But it's been so.
Who was the carry when he was on Empire? I can't even remember.
Empire was
it Ramsey? Was Ramsey?
Silent.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Silent was the safe
Silent
laner.
was the safe laner, and Rezo was mid.
There was a quite a period indeed when he played that mid lane, and yeah, definitely did play Invoker. I mean, who knows? Maybe let's do it. Let's get him on the mid lane, and you definitely can do that because you can get FN. FN's a Slark picker, isn't he?
FN is a Slark picker.
He is a Slark. He definitely can roll out on the safe lane.
FN plays Invoker.
But it's short, yeah.
I just wanted to do the throwback.
I mean, it would be cool to see them switch it around.
That'd be fun.
But yeah, it's definitely likely that they won't do
What could be scarier? Maybe the Drow ban for Infamous could be okay. Like they don't maybe want to get like last Drow with that Invoker puck. It makes the puck off lane always just better.
Yeah, definitely.
Be one thing that Infamous could be thinking about as their last ban. But what are they going to be grabbing? Heat. It's going to give a lot of information. It's going to tell pretty much exactly where Viper and Nightsucker are going.
I mean, what did you say? You expect the Vipers normally safe lane with Infamous?
It goes both.
They do both. Okay.
I know Tomato. I know him as a player and as a person. I know he doesn't like playing it, but they like to put it on him because they like the hero overall.
All right.
This is the indicator. Yeah. This.
I mean. You sure? I mean, I was gonna say didn't they still leave it open? They could put the Jug mid against the Invoker, grab a poor man's. It's not that bad in that matchup, is it?
It's not great.
Nah.
It's not what you want. You'd rather have your safe free farming Juggernaut. And Viper wins the mid matchup versus Invoker pretty handedly.
I guess the Jug as well is a hero that farms very easily against a puck off.
Yeah.
You get the poor man's. You can have the healing ward a couple of levels in. It's very hard for the puck to harass you out there.
Yeah, and you can leave the Jug and make moves. Nightsucker.
And with the catch from Disruptor, you know, just having that combo in lane as well, you're going to get the chance for the Blade Fury rundown. If that puck makes one wrong move, there is kill potential.
I like the Night Stalker ban. Great.
The Night Stalker ban?
Sorry, the Nyx Assassin ban, because it's not only just like they have the int off laner puck, int mid laner for Invoker, but it's also the vision game. You're playing with Night Stalker Regen, vision's going to be an issue, but with the Nyx Assassin kind of creeping in Vendetta, it could definitely cause more issues for Empire. So I do like that one, and I know Tekka does like to play.
Final ban from Infamous. We expect looking to target resolutions here. Actually going to be Sven. So a lot of very strong Rezo heroes are still in that pool. The
Lycan's still there.
There is the anti-mage.
Rangers there.
You know, the ones we saw being banned out last game. I mean, I guess obviously the side of Infamous, they feel maybe with the Viper and the Knights, they're not as worried about an anti-mage. They've got Catcher and Disruptor. They've certainly got ways to deal with it.
Yeah, and it's not
if Rezo says pick me AM game.
It's not a great AM game either.
No,
like, there's no one he really does
isn't.
great versus at all. I'd be pretty surprised if they did grab AM for.
It would be pretty great.
For Rezo.
But obviously they do have a lot of confidence in that hero. You know how carry a game, and there's the King today. Grabbing that off. See what we have here then. Rezo, he knows what he's up against in lane.
Axe. Good versus like when the rum starts to tick out, so you can get those dunks. And it's also like that clear initiator for them to get those like the disruptor ult beating stuff off. But trying to run something aggro for. Sound good though versus Hawk. I think they.
I don't think 1v1 Axe puck doesn't sound like the dream for Axe. Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see the standard. Obviously, unless Empire themselves try and force that matchup. As I want to.
Maybe a bit dissuaded from the Lycan versus Axe. Could be possible because he has the Shadow Shaman. That's what always is the indicator. I'd say Lycan Drow Ranger look.
Drow certainly strong.
Oh, the Necro.
Necro. Okay.
Okay, so more.
I mean that is. I mean, you could kind of say to that you know, if there's obviously going to be the Axe off lane, you could leave Rezo on his own, and the supports can move around.
Absolutely. So they're doing
1v1,
similar kind of thing as before.
Yeah.
With Rezo safe lane, they can run around the Kunkka and the Shadow Shaman to at least pressure for Ghost. Maybe they actually just start bottom and they just leave Rezo.
I think you definitely can. I mean,
think possible.
What do Infamous do if they do that? You know, do they send someone up to help the Axe?
Yeah, I mean it's
pretty strong for that. The Necro pick seems like a real nice finisher.
Yeah, it's very similar to the Nature's Prophet that happened last time.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen. So we'll see if Empire can clean up a 2-0, if Infamous can turn it around. They did, of course, have a very tough time in Game 1, but rather different draft this time.
Big fan of the Necro pick. Not really a crazy amount of magic damage, actually. It's Disruptor ulti and the Void from Nightstalker. That is literally like all their magic damage.
I'm not biggest apart from getting off that. Obviously, they have the Static Storm. I guess they've got the Crippling Fear. Yeah. So they've got they've got a couple of silences, and we'll see how Rezo wants to deal with that in terms of his build.
So how are they going to lane it? We see Boot on the Kunkka Shadow Shaman. They haven't decided just yet where they're going to go, but by the looking of their items, they're just going to be moving around a lot.
Yeah, as we were saying, I think that certainly is acceptable.
And they put Ghostic to have... Look at Ghostic's items. Those are some contesting... Those are some fight items right now on the puck. He has the maximum amount of attributes and 8 tango, so they're going to be playing around him. Looks like Axe is going safely and is going to be Infamous.
So that's Infamous avoiding what we were expecting into Empire C, isn't it? They don't want to put that Axe on the solo against Reza.
Yeah,
they want to get that away. Yeah, and I mean, so then you have obviously this aggressive tri lane. Is that's pretty terrifying for Necro? Can Reza still hold his own there down on that bottom lane?
They'll probably have to help him.
Yeah, let the force stay down.
If they get like, if he steps out of position at all, spin.
But to be fair, I mean, Shadow Shaman, it's another, if he steps out of position as well, this tri-lane can certainly punish. It could be pretty tricky for Empire bottom lane.
Yeah, that deep ward that Infamous does place too is quite nice.
They've got that vision for the catch.
And they're dire, so it lets the creep wave meet at a better spot for them in that off lane. Play more aggressively, and yeah, with the vision from there, they can actually get the glimpses to get a step too far up.
I guess the thing is, though, despite obviously you are taking away the Axe from that Necro lane, which is pretty nasty, as we did mention, it is still going to be an Axe versus Puck lane, which, I mean, is maybe a little better for the Axe, but it's still not a great matchup.
No, definitely not. I mean, he just needs to make sure that he blocks that hard camp, and we look at Ghostic right now and look at his positioning, he's standing there blocking the camp. Because you, as an Axe in this safe lane, you run up, you pull the aggro of the creep wave on yourself, you stack your hard camp, you pull it to the side, you get a double camp, and you deny a full wave. The bottom lane, they are starting deep in the trees. They're waiting for one of the Empire people to step up, and it looks like it's going to happen. Rezo steps a bit too far up.
And here we go. They've got the trap, and that should be a first blood here. Rezo, can he get himself away from this? He cannot. Booth is successful. Tri-lane coming into play here down bottom.
And they have a ward in the mid lane too, so they actually see Roger, the Kunkka, set up there as well, so they know they can go for those type of super aggressive plays. I mean, not really like Empire can turn that one around with their hero.
Roger's presence certainly needed in that mid lane. I mean, this, Viper Invoker matchup is certainly a lane where things can get very, very nasty for that Invoker.
Especially when there's a lane ward. The lane ward makes it just Viper can always do that harassment uphill bottom lane.
It may be just another kill on Rezo. He's still just level 1. He's got one more burst heal to get up, but Matthew dives in with the Void, gets the kill. They'll look towards Miposhka now, and they may even get this one. There's a Blade Fury available if Benjaz wants to chase for it. Miposhka won't quite get trapped though by the field. Does actually bring down Matthew in return. Plus we'll lose one back there in the trade, but still leading 2-1, having that first blood under the belt. This time around, it certainly seems overall the lanes favouring Infamous.
Yes.
With these picks, and they themselves going aggro. I mean, I guess they saw how well Empire pulled it off last game. They said, we're going to try that ourselves. They should get another one out of this. As the field's down, traps him at Poshka, chases him with the Blade Fury. Benjaz picks up another perfect play down on this bottom lane from him.
Yeah, they have to watch how far they step up, but that's the beauty of having it's on the dire for Infamous, is that how far the creep wave actually met, and
EG's turn to pick.
Miracle Shadow Shaman, old like no tail mid.
I think it's just a silencer. But
That used to be a big thing in Heroes. Polywog Creed. That was his.
are you not afraid of getting fired at all? Just talking some game. Maybe you'll get magically deported despite having a U.S.
I'll get
passport.
deported?
Yeah.
I'll get deported for mentioning Han? Suddenly Valve is also...
Give TSA a call. Sir, we got a suspicious figure here.
I don't think you even know what TSA does. TSA does not have the right to deport.
TSA touches me a lot when I go to the airport and talk to me.
Lumi, you were not hired for your immigration expertise.
Neither is Bulldog, so we're all... Alright, we got the Lone Druid final pick. So this is going to be the R-Tour. The RTC. LD, I'm going to need you to focus here.
Maybe you should have made that comment then. But okay. All right, here we go. Yeah, Arteezy on the Lone Druid. Lone Druid last pick. How do you feel the Lone Druid like fits into the overall game plan here?
I think Lone Druid very good against Kuro's hero. Like very little that Shadow Shaman could do. Puts a lot of pressure on Miracle as well, and could help his ally or himself with the bear able to proc off that Savage Roar to, let's say, save somebody when they get chrono and stuff like that. It is very awkward in terms of how he'll have to play it. But overall, I think he's going to lane much better against the Nature's Prophet. Remember last game, he just lost the 1v1? Against Mind Control, Banished lane.
Okay. See if that turns out the case. Liquid do smoke immediately out of the fountain. To EG, the teams are going to... So as far as our laning setup goes, it will be the mid. Be a safe lane launcher. Sometimes we see the male Rana there. So as far as laning setup goes, completely standard from EG and what you would expect. Looks like the same for Liquid. No shenanigans here, no void mid or tri-lane mid, just straight up classic DOTA.
I wonder what Miracle's skill build will be this when the Chinese silencers go mid, like your SCCC, or maybe they love to actually max the curse, as it does very nicely in kind of your standard 2v2 mid situation. Curse just gives you so much more damage. The slow allows you to get off a couple more right clicks. But I've never seen Miracle go mid with this hero, so we shall sit here and learn in a bit. Learning not to what to do with. We're learning either way, so it's fine.
Life is learning.
There you go. I'm just trying to, like, you know, absolve myself of this situation, but you just like
I'm just hammering it home.
Yeah, thank you.
Goes EG. Lane for the off lane. Heading there. Gonna be the Shaker starting off to help a bit mid. Liquid assembling the tri-lane initially. Bottom. He's actually carrying a TP guard.
Who is, sorry?
Kuroki on the Shadow Shop. Expecting this 1v1 matchup. Without shit on the bear, but wants to get one soon. I can't recall last time I've seen RT.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Like when he used to be on EG and they did pick it, like Fear always played it.
Yes, exactly.
So, I mean, he is kind of in the Fear role now.
It's also a very different role because Arteezy lately has been playing things like Venom and Razor, right? Somebody that doesn't eat up a lot of farm. I think this is a departure to that, like going back to his original, hey, I'm gonna put the whole team on my shoulder and 1v5 carry. I think Lone Druid is more of that hero.
Yeah, hopefully not 1v5. I mean, you have a Mirana mid, pretty decent scaling core. They're trying to dual lane against Miracle, at least initially. It's not working out so hot. Already 5-1, even with the Mirana bullying crit out of the lane. Nice thing about Sansu. Very high damage output mid. Pretty good at lane control.
And this is where, if he has Curse, I think it will help him lane a little bit better. The last word is decent against Lumel, but I don't think he's short on regen. Like, he's gonna just eat the Curse and salve up or whatever.
You know, one adjustment about this Liquid lineup, and I think where the Void is really good, is that they're not going to get completely demolished by the Batrider offlane like we saw last game. Void might get bullied slightly, but GH duging out here in the river, taking some heavy punishment. Let's have the boots, though. Should be able to take it away. Zai still chasing him, though. Gets that one extra punch. Kuro's coming in. Wants the bounty rune, and Zai is going to snag it, as well as force the Shaker on his heels. So, big win.
Yeah, going back to your point about the offlane, not only is the Void a little bit more durable compared to the Lycan, he also has a better support, right? Remember Visage was the support last game for Matumba Man, and you know, Kuro wasn't able to do too much of anything. But Shaman in particular could just shackle, and Universe's effectiveness will get limited pretty hard.
For now, some small adjustments to the lanes here and there, but Zai does come back to the bottom. Shackles off. They're going to try to make their move on Mr. Zai. Still only level 1, and he might be the first blood. Indeed, he will be. Good, the committed 3-hero jump, and the point in Shackles, perhaps unexpected. Really, you do see the Shaman.
I think there's a debate now in terms of what you get level 1. I've been seeing actually more Shackles. It depends on what your safe lane carry is, right? Like if you have a Gyro or a Juggernaut, then the Shackle makes a lot more sense. But you're right, like he's been holding a skill point for such a long time that it wasn't clear what he actually got.
He's gonna go in again, and there's no way to break that Shackle with this dual lane. A big weakness that Kuroki has managed to exploit. Zai gets off a beautiful 3-hero stomp at the time walk forward. One more auto attack, it's not enough. He lives on 4 HP.
Wait, CH or GH?
Oh, give up the totem. Give up the totem. What was the range of that thing?
That was a Monkey King attack range. And now Kuro ports out. That early teleport score.
That looked like Tiny with the Ags upgrade. What the hell was that?
It is a totem. Got them range.
Say it like that.
Learning with Blue.
Learning English with Blue. Boy, that would be a great series. Got them range. Let's start with that little phrase right there.
Yeah.
That might actually take longer than all of the internationals back to back.
Oh boy. You know how this year Miracle in the mid lane gets picked off. You know how this year Valve started to do like the classic games, which I really appreciate that. I just hope that whatever we got going on right now would never make it into the classic game. 10 years from now, somebody watches this game again, and be like, "What the hell is this guy saying?"
Well, you just got to make sure the jokes age well, you know.
Okay.
Like it's got to be like a fine wine. You don't want to be referencing like this year's Transformers movie.
Universe. They picked up on the bottom side.
And they're doing it pre-chrono. I mean, I mentioned like they're not going to get run over by the bat, but in fact, they're dominating in the mid lane. They're trying to set up a miracle here. The stomp will connect. Kurt wants to go. Arrow comes through. It will connect, but Kuro's there with the interrupt. He gets the shackles up with the hex. They're diving this tower. They're tanking this tower. Sumail's going to go down. Kuro once more. He probably pays with his life. But 2 for 1, but in goes GH. The tower is not cooperating. In fact, GH has to be careful. They might try to go on him too. Fissure, timed, but not placed. Right? Be able to retreat. Crit's just going to chill and wait it out.
EG won the kind of the numerical side of things. It was a 2 for 1. GH just walks in here right onto Crit. But the fact that they killed the Mirana first, you could make the argument that, you know, it's Radiant getting experience, killing the more important hero. It wasn't all bad for Liquid.
One big thing you mentioned, Lumi, in the draft, and it certainly has been the case thus far, like Mind Control is not going to crush Arteezy. In fact, Arteezy is crushing Mind Control now when it comes to CS at least. He's 21 CS up. Granted, probably a few of those are Treants, but still winning his lane pretty handily, and also keeping the Nature's Prophet locked here. If he leaves the lane to go gank, then all of a sudden the tower gets pressured.
Look at the level disparity, not just talk about farm. That's a level 5 Nature's Prophet to a level 7 Arteezy. Savage Roar?
Here goes the Shackles, the counterplay from Zai with the stomp, and now Kuro on the run. Still good rotation by Zai, keeping his carry alive.
I wonder in a scenario like this where you're expected to 1v1 for so long, whether it's good to upgrade your boots to phase boots. It's really not done anymore on the Spear Bearer, and Arteezy deems it not important to do so in this game. But I imagine he would be dumpstering even harder on the Prophet if he had it.
GH getting slowed down here by Crit. Pursue this any further. A lot of movement from both teams, mostly centered around the middle lane it seems, but so far not all that many kills. Certainly had higher here on day 1. As we look away from the laning stage more towards the mid game, we're going to see Mukamaman getting harassed a bit here by Universe. Time walk off that damage, should be okay. What's the... Oh, Chrono. All right, Chrono 1, go for the other. That's something fresh, but Tomohedi just wanted the move speed, and seems move speed's all he needed in the end to get the Wyvern kill.
I think the game plan for Liquid is to use your long cooldown ultimate, your global, your Chronosphere, to set up a kill, and then use your Rastas and your Prophets to kind of get objective after it. Ooh, Fairy Fire.
Gonna descend on the mid lane on Sumail. Fissure comes through, and Liquid playing around the Prophet and playing around the rotations of GH. 2 back-to-back kills. Nice stuff for them.
I think you could just look back in this series, regardless how the result goes, and say Liquid is just playing, to me, a little bit faster, a little bit better over EG. It's not that EG is not executing properly or anything, it's just that Liquid is just one step ahead. That is the difference. They're 5-0, G's 2-3.
Lasso on the bottom lane. They're going to need some follow-up here. Sumail gets off the arrow. Well-timed rotation nets them the kill. Obviously, with Chrono on cooldown, it's probably a better time to die as a Void than when you could be potentially setting up a big kill. Nonetheless, a good one. GG. I mean, how are you feeling about the mid-silencer thus far? He got out CS pretty heavily as... Oh, Control getting picked off side of that mid lane. Definitely not dominating his lane. He did have to deal with 2 heroes for a lot of it. This a game where Miracle can take over on the silencer?
I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm not impressed with the way that the silencer has been playing. But the beauty of the silencer mid is that you don't have to be dumpstering the enemy. You could just, you know, part of it is your global, right? Your ultimate. So even if you're not having the earliest impact, you're still effective. You're still helpful to the team. So I guess wait and see is the reply to your question.
Yeah, you wait and see for the Bat Rider to blink in, and then you hopefully global and can turn that fight around. But
right
here comes the ganking party. Miracle gonna get slowed down. No global yet. Oh, there you go.
Okay.
He is gonna global. He interrupts the stomp. He keeps himself alive. The rotation scrambles in. Jidge could cut off 2 here with the fissure. He only gets 1. Zai just walks idly by him. Well, they'll at least get the Wyvern kill. Miracle, a +2 for him. That's a total of +6, but I keep on looking at this top lane, Lumi, and Arteezy is uncontested, 81 CS. He's not actually the leader in net worth. That title goes to Sumail on the Mirana, but he is still about to take a tier 1 down.
Oh, deny! The Treants!
Hero Treants. Meanwhile, back in the river, Fissure on 2, but now the chase is on. Liquid have overplayed their hand. They've got to back away. There is a Chrono available, but Tumbaman can make something happen, but he needs damage to dump into that Chrono. That is one area where they're lacking, as the Shaman will fall. Amount of AoE and the amount of nuke damage they can lob into a Chrono is very limited.
Arteezy now joins bottom, teleports in, walks away from the smoke, and is looking to set up a bait of some sort here. It's like, hey, I'm by myself. And all of a sudden, Bat Rider shows up. He doesn't have Lasso though, so I'm not sure how much they could do here.
Probably hoping GH overextends. Does seem like EG wants to try and play more aggressively, take more fights as the Savage Roar pushes Matumbo away.
GH in the trees by himself. He is isolated. Crit peppering him with that Arctic Burn. And he is going to just get run down.
Nice pick. Well, is it a pick? Is it a pick? Is it a pick?
I mean,
GH still running. Surely he dies here.
Stop. Hey.
They get it.
I think Crit could have, or sorry, Zai could have stopped any time, but he's like trying to get his core to kill. Arteezy not doing that.
So they're using this Lone Druid as their early push tool. Takes the tier 1 top. Now he's going to rotate bottom, do the same. Very different from game 1 in that regard, where Liquid had a massive tower advantage. That is not the case here. EG have only lost 1, and they have taken with that bottom tower falling too.
Top lane, GH in position here. Arctic Burn cooling down relatively soon here. Can the bird fly away? All right.
Cold Embrace, he's got Stick. He could get off a Winter's Curse. He doesn't have a TP.
Okay.
He goes for the Creep Curse, and then he tries to walk away. GH giving him the punch. Mind Control giving him the auto attack, and down he goes. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, action also breaking out there as Liquid are on the chase. Kuroki's going to fall. Now Zai chasing forward. They've got the numbers advantage here at this point. Miracle's likely to drop as well. That's an extra kill. Zai on the killing spree. Another death for the Silencer.
Yeah.
Still no Midas at 12 minutes. Miracle is not having a great start.
I mean, a large part of that is doing EG's persistence on non-stop ganking mid, right? You know, it's maybe unfair to say whether Silencer is a good pick this game. No hero's a good pick when they send 4 gank parties. But I think the bigger problem is that we're walking into mid-game, Arteezy is super fat, and Miracle's got a hero that does not match up well at all against the Spirit Bear. So I am quite concerned for the Silencer.
is there a point where Liquid's lineup kicks it up a notch? There's something in particular that's really gonna change the complexion of the game for them.
I think Liquid, the way that their lineup scales is like pretty linear. It's not like a hero where, like, for example, Spectre picks up Radiance and you're fighting for just spikes, like really heavy, right? I don't think there is any one big item like that for Team Liquid. So, like, if they're gonna fall behind, they're gonna be behind for a while until they can slowly win one team fight, claw yourself back. This is definitely not a good sign for Team Liquid. I like to see them use their Chrono and Global together and get something going, but again, it goes back to the draft. Like, what are you comboing with that Chrono? There's just not really that much.
Yeah, like Nature's Wrath and I don't know. If somehow they're all on the side of the Chrono,
just like, yeah,
Echo Slam, yeah, it's not great. And this ain't great either. Mind Control will get lassoed and picked off in the top lane. Universe had a pretty rough lane, but they've been able to make effective plays despite that, and despite the fact he only now gets this blink. There was a setup in the mid. Meanwhile, Sumail jumping in into the R-Splitter, and another pick-off. The kills just keep on rolling in for EG. Be too flustered by the potential turnaround of a Global and Chrono. In fact, that Chrono only now cools down.
So my man steals a haste rune and it's out there. So, I really appreciate another great performance from Zai on the Elder Titan. Like, we're 15 minutes in the game, he's pretty much been in every single kill. Like, I think he's missed 3 kills, and he's just so effective. And this is, like, we're not seeing him combining with the rest of the team yet in terms of, like, the curse into Earthsplitter that you mentioned during the draft, so. I think moving forward, this is definitely a hero that teams have to worry about when facing up against EG. Or rather, also Digital Chaos, because Boba invented that hero, so it's going to be playing it too.
And that's a big ally, an X factor in the draft. Is if there's a hero like that normally teams wouldn't want to ban or even consider that you have to work with. But we're in the game now, and that's where Universe is going to go down. Liquid, pretty hefty commitment, dropping the Chrono for that. We'll get the kill. But Arteezy just really farming bottom all the while. He is not going Radiance, though. Something we used to see more of was that Maelstrom build. Kind of fell by the wayside, but
it was like
bringing it back.
You know, it's normally like a Midas into Radiance or Maelstrom, but no Midas either. GH popping that Shrine, Global comes through, they're going to take a team fight. Echo Slam's going to be there, they will take down the Sumail. Question is, can they take down Crit as well? Crit still tangling up a little bit, Enchant Totem ready to go, and I do believe Crit, with that stun hitting him, he should go down. Meanwhile, on the other half of the team fight, great Earthsplitter coming back in. Mind Control should just get burned down. The wards gets committed. They want Zai, and they will get Zai. But they might lose
get
a little more.
They're still chasing. Actually, Kuroki might die here. He's
Kuro
roasting in the flames. Easy double, fed back the other way. That's costly. EG salvage what looked like a really bad fight.
Yeah.
Arteezy is going for that full right click build now.
Oh, he's going just range build?
Yeah, it looks like.
I say that with a tone of surprise because normally when you see Lone Druid nowadays, it's just all bear, right? Like, it was Midas, Radiance, and you just go into melee form.
It was what, like a 3 to 4 month period where everyone was doing that range, like
lone sniper
with a bear.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I love that build.
I guess I was just not really paying attention. The fact that he doesn't have boots on his bear should be a telltale sign, right? Like, normally when you see more of the bear build, you definitely invest the boots on him, at the very least.
The sad bear.
Yeah.
Not been adorned with a whole lot. Been given an Orb of Venom, a Quelling Blade, and Stout Shield. Arteezy is abusing that poor animal for its own twisted purposes.
I guess if you're looking up against who you're facing against, being just a long-range right-clicker, it's just good against heroes like Prophet and Void, right? Just the further you stay from those heroes, the better. You still retain on the whole demolish bear pushing, and they will take down yet another tower.
Tower hits the deck, no deny for the tree this time. First pushes in. They are trying to split push a little bit with Matumba Man top and Mind Control bottom, but Lumi, they are not the split push lineup that they were last game. Like, they could drop the wards, the Prophet can do a little bit. There's some long cooldown story out there, and
yeah,
certainly just not as good at taking objectives as they were.
LD, take me back. Talk about kind of range lone druid as kind of like a force in the mid and late game. Do you think he's like? I think one of the strengths of the carry lone druid is the fact that you had a ridiculous respawn talent back in the day, right? Was it minus 60 second or something crazy like that?
Yeah.
And you don't have that now, so is that like, can you even play that kind of style without that respawn talent?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think, to your point, like, how good is the bear actually this game in fights? You've got a lot of control for him, whether it's just sprouting the bear, shackling, or hexing it. The like tons of AoE from the shaker and the void. So I think in that regard, this is potentially a more like suitable build for the matchup. At this point, everyone on their lineup is effectively a pretty long-range damage dealer, as Liquid smoke and get caught by a dire scan. So yeah, I think you made a good point that it suits the matchup, even if it's not like on paper, like, you know, having the same steroids and ability that he did in previous patches.
I mean, at the same time, I think having Radiance against these like relatively squishy int heroes like Shadow Shaman, Silencer is nice. But looks like we're not going to see a Radiance. And we'll see how RTZ kind of progresses through. It's going to be the Hurricane Pike next. Another good way to get out of things like Sprout and whatnot.
Sad thing is, even if the bear has nothing on it, it's still worth just as much when you feed it, and it's a lot easier to kill without those items, so careful.
So if Wards gets committed, I think they could just clean that up pretty quickly if they want.
Expecting EG's ability to defend towers here.
Tower is gonna have to get denied.
Well, somebody might not be able to.
I mean, that I think was a pretty prime easy deny there, but
yeah, if they both went for the deny, I think they could have had it. I don't know if Sumail alone would have had enough damage.
Sumail, we haven't talked about him too much, but one thing that I do want to mention is that Mirana scaling into mid and late game as a right clicker, pretty amazing. She has one of the highest int gain, sorry, not int gain, agility gain. Out of agility, I think it's actually the second highest agility gain out of all of the agility heroes, sitting at 3.6. As you imagine.
Don't forget about that leap.
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you get to 25.
The leap talent, you get the damage talent.
Oh, for the bear
You get the attack speed talent.
Man.
Mirana can be a decent right clicker with the talent, introduction of the talent tree.
Most people have been going for the, hey, I'm going to go for an axe as a farming item and then back into right click. This is actually the first time for me to see a
straight right click.
Like straight right click. Yeah. And the problem with this build is that it takes a long time to come online, because Mirana needs like at least 2 to 3 items to come online, and generally Ags served as an item that made you relevant early as you scale back into a right clicker. But this game, he has Arteezy to be kind of the gap.
EG smoked, wanting to make the move here on Matoma, and the global came out quickly, and then GH spraying the trap. He catches 2. Now the chrono follow-up, locking them down. Can they finish the trick? They get the bashes. They get the kills. Global, absolutely massive there. A 2 for 2 thus far. Make it 3 down for EG. And Kuroki once more. He's chased after Sumail, but Sumail got the manta off. The illusions are killing him. Where's backup? Kuro doesn't have it. A 3 for 3, a bloodbath mid. Even the Radiant Courier serving itself up on a silver platter. EG do keep their big damage dealers alive, though. Wow. And they want to push now.
We saw game 1, GH coming in here, preventing the Sumail Chronosphere. That was absolutely huge. This man could see into the future, and he just did right there. And what a turnaround. I do believe Crit made a mistake on the Winter's Curse, as the curse prevented the Mirana from finishing the kill. We're going to watch this team fight one more time, and look at how prepared GH comes in. Bang! Hits a 2-man Chronosphere.
The global was also almost instantaneous, like maybe half a second reaction time there.
And then we're going to see Crit's Curse. I think Crit's Curse prevented Sumail from right-clicking and killing him there, but was able to actually isolate Mind Control on the backline and kill him in there.
Yeah, good job by Mind Control trying to silence the Wyvern. It was like a split second late, unfortunately, but that is his #1 target in these fights, I would say. Maybe the Elder Titan, but he's a lot harder to kill.
Mid lane.
Easy to get silenced up, but do Liquid really want to take a fight with no Echo, with no Chrono, with no Global? This is not a great time to be engaging. They're on the run. EG are going to punish them for this. They get the root follow-up kill coming through on Kuro, the fissure from GH. Quite late here to try and save the team. They will eat away a few freebies, and now EG marching into that Roche pit. Grabbing Aegis. And with the power of Leap, I think they get this pretty easily.
Yeah, no Chronosphere like you mentioned, although it's back in 10. Global is still down for 10 more or so. Yeah, they're gonna get this Aegis. I gotta say, if you finish day 1 splitting games against all the teams you face against, you're probably not too happy, especially if you're EG, but if they could split the series against Team Liquid, who's been just running truck over everybody, it might not be the worst.
You just get 1 point a game, right? They had 1 TI where I think you got 3 points for a 2-0, but I don't think they've ever done that again. So, yeah, splitting games is just fun. Mail gonna go. Oh, he picks up the Maelstrom, so double Maelstrom. Manta. Obviously, Mirana gives you a lot of attack speed, so that's a small point of additional synergy with the Leap, that'll also help Arteezy. Combine that with the Rabbit.
Yeah, the Manta, obviously 40 global. He wants to still have the ability to escape or fire his arrows and whatnot. And this is where, as a agility carry, you're getting to a point where you look, it's Butterfly a good item. Can I just take over the game? Or do I need something like a MKB to deal with, this chance and evasions and stuff like that?
Well, there's nothing like that now. So I mean, I just think Butterfly is an incredible value item. It also helps you just farm and move around the map faster with the move speed.
There's also things like, do you see Ghost Scepter from coming out, then you might want to think about a Diffusal Blade. I don't think anything like that is also coming out, so Butterfly straight up looks like a pretty decent option.
Man, Ghost Scepter used to just be for value, just like buy it for the stats and who cares if you even get the active, but fairly forgotten item with Diffusal Blade being as good as it is, and yeah, Ghost Scepter itself having been nerfed over the years. Reminds me of another old one with the classic was the Racer game, Bone 7 Dota. I mean, we were talking about him earlier.
Bone 7 Dota.
Oh no, I think with him it was the Null Tallies. Bracer Gaming was what else? His was the Null Tally.
Crit.
But here we go in the mid lane. They're trying to set up a crit. The turnaround comes from Sumail, but now he gets global silence and control. The Chrono interrupts Sumail as he tries to pounce out. The cat lady has been caged. They kill her once. Can they do it a second time? They try to finish off Zai. They haven't done the job just yet, and now Mind Control's in trouble, dragging him away. Matumba Man chases Sumail, but it's a fool's errand. Now he's in danger. Miracle coming back into the fight, but it's into the waiting arms of Arteezy, who controls it with the bear. They're fighting under the wards, but it's not enough damage. The Earth Splitter cuts them off, deleting the full 5-man squad of Liquid, who now find themselves in danger. Tier 2 about to be mowed down.
Maybe even Tier 3. Yeah, like you respawn as Void and Silencer, but you don't have your Global or your Chrono. This is definitely going to be a Tier 3, if not more after that. Sumail is going to jump forward for that attack speed from this team. We'll see.
They might go for the full Grax here, Lumi. Yeah. There is no Chrono available. There is no Echo Slam. There are no wards. There is no Global. That is at least half the firepower of Liquid in an actual full-scale engagement. Mirana, Lone Druid, these carries hit just as hard right now, but do EG want to risk it? They are pretty low.
They will respect.
They decide to back away. I almost think they could have forced the issue there, but perhaps not worth the risk.
Yep. So very unfortunate. It was a good Chrono. It was just unfortunate in the sense that Sumail had the Aegis. So it was almost like he didn't catch him in the Chrono. And the other big problem is that right now EG has 2 very strong physical damage dealers. And I feel like Liquid is in a situation where the Chrono almost has to hit both for them to have a chance to win these team fights. Because if it doesn't, I don't know. It's too much damage output from EG.
It's very difficult otherwise. I think that's for sure. Mind Control is closing on a Silver Edge. That will be a big help to try and mitigate some of that damage. See, Crit has sprung a little trap for him, planning the Sentry Ward down as he farms. And Mind Control is going to go for the ring around here. Crit hides under the Sentry. This is a likely trap. Silence comes through. Sprout is there, but he's already flying away. Arteezy's in the neighborhood as reinforcements. Dusts upon dust, and the counter dust reigns supreme.
He could have easily used Savage Roar to just save Crit, but like, I'll go get a kill.
They're going to commit for this though. The Global was used after GH got lassoed. Now the Yule Scepter comes through. They're going to back away. They were smoking to try and reinforce this position, but the Shaker's been overrun. They'll sack him as well. That's 2 down.
That's a Global down.
And just the Global as well.
That's going to be another Tier 2. Miracle, they ping him out.
Liquid, all that discipline we saw in game 1, all the cool, calm, and collected Dota, escaping them now, and EG stepping up to the plate in a big, big way. Looking, they might finally be able to take a game off Liquid, who have just been unstoppable so far in the groups.
Yep.
And like you said, it's a very important game for EG. You don't want to go into day 2, 2-4. 3-3 feels manageable. All you have to do is win, a couple of matches. Maybe you tie the rest, and you're likely to get through the upper half. But you go in 2-4, and suddenly you have very little margin for error the rest of the way.
And for EG fans out there, this could be arguably the toughest day in terms of the opponent, the quality of opponent that they're facing. I think the rest of the group might be a little bit...
Well, there's LGD, right?
Yeah, LGD is the other tough team, but... I think
and I mean, I do remember there've been TIs in the past. God, who was it at TI3 or TI4? There was somebody who went 6-0 on day 1.
And just tanked.
And didn't make it to the playoffs,
Yeah.
I want to say. God, was that Liquid? That might
It sounds like a very old Liquid-esque thing.
I can't remember now. Melody is really kicking in Lumi.
Man, you got that sleeping voice going on as well. Thank goodness this is the last game of the day.
I have energy.
I don't know.
I'm saving it.
saving
for the right play.
Saving strats for the TI main events. You're saving your vocal cords.
I'm saving myself for Dota that is worthy of hype. I've learned from my WoW days.
Man, this is
when I was a young lad.
This is not the LDI Casa whiff.
No more chat wheel.
Like the LDI Casa whiff back in TI3, like vocal core was dead at the finals, and you're like, just
vocal cords were
in.
dead after the group stage. I came to TI2,
yeah. And you were still going in. There's no saving vocal cords. You just go in.
We don't need more WoWs. The world has enough WoWs.
Or not enough, depending on who you ask.
All right, well, then you can create them.
All right, bring me back to this game, LD. I feel a little lost. The Go Graph says EG 10K lead.
Well, Lumi, it's the year 2017.
Thank you. Keep going.
We are currently at a hotel in the great city of Seattle.
All right.
This is not Bulba's Liquid. Kuro's Liquid.
Explains a lot, actually, now that you say it like that.
And meanwhile, Liquid are 5-0. EG are 2-3, but they're looking to make it 3-3 as a smoke Liquid. For that opening, the Moonlight Shadow quickly activated to ensure their retreat. Miracle sticks around, though. Miracle sticks around, though. They actually don't see... Oh, they get him with the curse. And there was, to be honest, and now he's in a lot of trouble being pounded. The arrow comes through. Beautiful connection. Of all the heroes to die, that might be the worst, and he's out for a minute.
I think he wanted to force sap down the river, and his hero just kind of turned in the trees. And the result was... it looked pretty questionable, but... What has the Silencer done for you, LD? Because it has done jack all for me in this game.
I would agree. There was one good... The global mid where they turned the fight around.
That was more GH. Let's be real for a second.
It was like the combo, but yeah, even then it wasn't just the Silencer. It hasn't been all that effective. I do think Silencer generally struggles a lot more against heavy physical damage cores, especially ones who aren't super reliant on spells to do damage in fights. I think Mirana and Lone Druid both fall in that category. I also think EG just hits so hard right now that the timing has to be absolutely pristine to avoid someone just dying. You global after the lasso, Sumail, or Arteezy might just kill them anyway. So I do think it's a tough Silencer game. It's not like there's a storm or something, right? Where a perfectly timed global before he gets his counter, like a BKB or something, can actually counter him. Just not one of those Silencer games.
Well, he's going into a refresher next. Do you think the addition of a second global matters a lot, or at all? It's just like you said. I feel like EG is more or less. I don't want to say immune to it. They're pretty resistant to a global in the sense that they can still fight pretty hard.
Yeah, I think they go and right click you.
Yeah.
I think if Liquid want to take a team fight, it's actually more about the Shaker and the Void.
Yeah,
I think
I agree.
The Silencer is just kind of buying them the right time to take that fight, and I go back to your point of they lack damage in the Chrono. Imagine if they had, say, Alina instead of the Silencer, which was available for their last pick. I'm trying to think if there's anything else better. I think Queen of Pain might have been available at that point.
Sure.
That could have served them well in this stage. But yeah, it does feel like the Silencer's falling off as he gets lassoed, trapped. The one hero that you can't afford to lose might just die at the beginning of this fight. He does get off the global. The chrono comes out from Matumba Man. He saves the time walk. They drop the wards. It's basically the dream scenario for Liquid as nobody dies even through that initiation. They get all their spells off and they still are losing the fight. Mind control on the run. Sumail running him down, gunning after him with the arrows, and the wards get farmed up anyway. Now it's just feeling like the raw numbers are working against Liquid.
Yep. Silver lining here for Team Liquid, despite not having any of their ultimates available right now. Their creep waves are pretty decent, so instead of going for the high ground here, EG gonna go for the Rosh instead. They will get it without any challenge. Your point about the Chronosphere not having too much combo, I think very relevant for the first 25-30 minutes, but I think we're getting to a point where if you land a good chrono, the right clicks are starting to take off, right?
But they could in theory, but he's got a Linkage and a Diffusal Blade, right? Like there's no
Mirgo's hitting pretty hard.
Oh, yeah.
Mind control's okay, you know, it's not great, but...
He's only got 18 stolen in. Like, I've seen support silencers with like 40 at this stage of the game, so...
I mean, my point is, it gets better as the game progresses. Your team's going to pick up more and more damage, so...
Yes. Well, Silencer is an infinitely scaling core. You know, if this game goes 1,000 minutes, Liquid have 100% win rate.
Have you ever seen a 1,000-minute Dota game?
No, but there's a first time for everything.
There you go. I like that spirit.
Just please bring me coffee if it goes that long, Val.
Arrow, not going to clip on Miracle. And Prophet does what Prophet does best. Pressure side lanes and hope that EG goes back for it.
You've been very patient about this. I guess this is one area where, you know, it's nice having the bear because you can siege a little more safely, and if you have to commit the hero in, but he does have Aegis. Yep. You have cheese up on Sumail, so certainly all the tools are there. They've both gone for their long-range Hurricane Pikes, and below ground Arteezy getting to work.
Somebody kill that ward, man. That ward is allowing the siege to be happening.
And that's a dead melee rack. Yep. Liquid simply do not walk. Okay, they're going to glyph, but should be it.
Okay, dead bear.
If he ever gets an uphill head.
Backdoor protection.
Kind of missing here for poor Arteezy, but now the Chrono gets the point. They make the move on Sumail. He's got the cheese. Ooh. He's down for the count. That is the big kill.
And now can it catch any
on
stragglers?
The run. Oh, GH on cleanup duty. Silence comes through. The Sprout's there to give them the vision, but the Spirit lending a bit of an assist as Crit tried. If they give up 2, they did not get the melee. Those uphill misses for Arteezy.
There's no buyback for Sumail. Can they just all go top right now and make something of it?
The tier 2 standing in their way. They don't
top. There's nothing there.
They don't realize he doesn't have buyback. I don't think they go for that.
Well, they're definitely going to go for the tier 2, right? Like that's the ultimate safe option. I guess you're right. Don't have caster vision.
It's not.
Sorry, I just got a little bit excited. You know, like Liquid is down for so much, and all suddenly like a ray of hope. Don't count them boys out.
Lumi. I know you've got a lot of Liquid cards. Don't lie to me. This is a safe space.
Safe space.
No one can hurt you here.
I actually forgot to do my fantasy.
Oh really?
I was so tired. I just went to bed.
What's your best card?
I don't have a golden envy, so it doesn't even matter. That's the real reason why I'm not doing the fantasy. Although to be fair, if I had a golden envy, I would have like negative points by the end of today. So who knows?
Liquid are now finally able to venture outside the base. They get Precious Ward down, and immediately Universe kills it. So it was good while it lasted. Now going for the BOTs. EG are going to try this again. It looks like they still have the Aegis. There is no glyph this time. Butterfly coming soon for Arteezy, who is extremely farmed. Sumail does the cheese, so I mean all they've really lost is a bit of gold. Can they make their move now? Chrono is ready. Global cooling down in 15. Almost enough time. Echo! Interruption on Universe, but there's no follow-up. He gets back safely, didn't even commit the lasso. This could really come back to haunt Liquid. Got the Hex off as well, but G just retreat. They're gonna probably wait for this next wave and then try it again. They did get the melee racks while that was all happening. Objective click.
That was the one that they came for all along. They go get it. So you know the play that Liquid just made? You jump on Sumail, you chrono him, and you get him killed. I'm not sure if that play is going to remain effective as the game goes on, because Crit is going to be watching out on that. He's going to position himself in a way where he will get off the Embrace. In the draft, we're saying the Embrace might not seem very good at the time, but as we move more and more into this late game scenario, the Embrace is going to get better and better. Might be the game turner, in fact.
Yeah, and Liquid, while they have like okay early to mid game nuke damage, it's not damage that really scales that well. There's no Lina with Laguna Blade or Invoker who could really dish it out and counter the Embrace hard.
I'm pretty sure Miracle will global though, in conjunction with the Chronosphere, so Crit needs a way to debuff that silence off of himself, and he is working towards a Lotus Orb, but
it's gonna be a while.
Yeah, gonna be a while given, you know, it's a 5-stage support and stuff like that.
28 minutes in, EG still struggling to break this game wide open. It's been about that 10-11k gold lead for some time now. They did get closer to 20, but the spike has halted. Do you, like, walk me through in your mind how Liquid can fully get back in this game? Do you feel like this type of lineup just can take it late? Should they just be trying to farm? Should they be making plays, going aggressive? What's your ideal scenario if you're a Liquid fan right now?
Remember the way I describe how the Liquid lineup kind of scales is that they don't scale, they don't have spikes, but they scale very gradually. And the game has been kind of going long to the point where I think their heroes are scaling to a very dangerous manner for the EG fans. So I think for Liquid, you just drag the game out long. Even though they lost the melee racks, I don't think it's like, oh my god, you lost melee, it's GG. In fact, I think EG needs to do a lot more work.
Like 2 lanes at least.
Yeah, 2 lanes with multiple waves constantly being pushed in, because you have a Prophet on your team as Liquid. You could easily repel this mid lane pressure. So for Liquid, it's about finding the right fights. This whole game has been fighting about finding the right fights. They have been super on point in terms of preventing the bad initiation from coming out. Right, Universe is normally so good on the hero, but this game, every time he comes in, he eats an ankle slam. He has a Hex against him. And those are kind of plays that Liquid needs to do to keep themselves afloat in this game.
On the side of EG, they are getting pretty close to Sumail's level 25 talent here. Leap attack speed feels like it should be huge. He just actually bought a tome to try and get him there. Pops the tome, 2/3 of the green.
I think for EG, it's more about them being able to fight under the global. So even though I said, you know, the global hasn't been doing anything, obviously it's been annoying Crit and Zai in particular very hard. Crit in particular getting off his curse and co-embrace is going to be the game changer. So him getting towards his Lotus Orb is going to be huge.
Mind Control is going to show himself here bottom. He did back off for Ashiva's guard. They are, meanwhile, trying to set up on Crit. He tries to flap away, gets locked down, controlled, and finished off. Another +2. Miracle rising back in the ranks, slowly but surely, finding these kills, closing in on Assault Cuirass. Like you said, I definitely do not sleep on the late game silencer. This hero hits extremely hard with the farm and with the kills.
In particular, once you get the 200 attack range at 25, it's not, you know, infeasible to start talking about level 25 talents, but he stands back and it's like a cannon every hit. I've seen Arcane Curse also being leveled up, although
especially with the Void and the Shaker, like, you have such good setup to allow a silencer to just sit back and wail away at you. Some games the silencer is constantly running for his life, but I don't necessarily think this will be. A lot of it comes down to Universe if he can somehow catch him, but there's a lot of other heroes to worry about. Universe hasn't really. There was one time where he got the silencer over near mid, you know, up near where the Ancients are. That's been about it.
I know earlier we were kind of talking about EG tying up the series, you know, 1-1, but maybe we spoke too soon. Now, I don't think, you know, Liquid is having a 50-50% chance of winning this game. EG is still advantage, but definitely could see Liquid playing well, winning a fight or two, and coming right back.
Don't forget, they do have the Nature's Prophet. Now, granted, he hasn't really itemized for the
Crit
rat.
again walks into a smoke gang, but this time
he's breaking one, so dodges a bullet. That was another smoke committed by Liquid, and all of this with the Roche about to respawn. They've even got their Serpent Wards ready. They would love to just walk into the pit and steal that Aegis Cheese away. Would be a massive swing of momentum, but not one that EG will away for free.
EG, I don't think they know that Roche is up. unless it's past the possible Roche respawn timer. But Liquid obviously do know they've sent Treants in time and time again.
They definitely suspect something's up, just judging by the way they're sticking around the pit. Now it's their turn to smoke. They find more success. Remember, we've seen a few ganks from EG where they walk headlong into the global, into the chrono, and here we go. Starting off, Batumman's there. They follow this up. But do they have the damage to bring Arteezy down? They're trying to focus on this low Germany. BKBs immediately forces Batumman on his heels. From the side of the fight, Kuroki managed to get a good trap off, finds his own pick. The supports are dropping like flies, but EG's core standing strong. Miracle gets forced away, and now Kuroki turned on. They've got to keep him under control. Sumail just cheesing up, staying alive through it all. On the silence from Mind Control in the Sprout.
Triple arrow!
And in the Sprout, he will die. 4 down, double buyback available. But they're just so ultimate reliant on this Liquid side. I don't think they can stand against CG in round 2, Lumi.
So Void Chrono Arteezy, but what happened was there was a fissure through the Chrono, so he had to walk out the Chrono, walk around the fissure, and by the time he got around to Arteezy, the Chrono ended, and they just killed him. Arrow coming in, zoning everybody away. They will take that range racks. They're moving for melee. Buybacks are not being used on Faceless Void, and like you said, even if he did buy back no Chrono,
Gonna try to jump Miracle. They've got the lasso available. Again, the Chrono buy, or rather the Void buyback, but nothing really to combo with it. No AoE, no control. They will, well, they'll get Sumail here trapped up in the Sprout, but the Glimmer Cape keeps him alive. Cold Embrace there as well. Sumail healing right back up to full HP. Still has the leap. He's actually going in. He wants to fight this more. Now the Winter's Curse is committed. Mind Control's been put under by Zai, setting up with the Air Splitter. This could be a dieback potentially. Mind Control's got to get the hell out of Dodge. Arteezy lunging in with the BKB. Dishing out the damage. Sumail stays alive again. It's Kurt to the rescue. No, it's Kuro with the zap. Gives him the taser, but still, 3 have fallen. They're dropping like flies here for Liquid and EG. Charging in once this tier 3 tower, but gotta beware. The buybacks try to keep track of how many heroes can even rejoin the fight, and they do know Chrono is cooling down. Nature's Prophet is gonna start ramping up in terms of the damage output. He finds the kill on Zai in the bottom lane.
That wasn't so bad for Liquid. I think Liquid won that team fight, right? They traded buybacks left and right. Mirana, unfortunately, bought back and wasn't able to get the fight. Now, if they get the Aegis, I guess it's still okay for EG out there, but...
So they used 3 buybacks, but EG also used 3.
Right,
so
but they get the Aegis and cheese, though. That's the big one.
So in theory, that should favor EG in this next fight.
Right, and of course they
but Liquid also have their ults now, which they didn't before.
Liquid went from a position where they lost 4, and I thought they were going to just lose the game too. It's like, okay, it's not that terrible. Again, Liquid clutching it out in this late game. They need to start de-warding their base though. Like, it's making Batrider's job so much easier to have this vision. And there you go. They still have the gem.
I really feel like they have a damage problem now. Like, the only hero that hits hard is the Silencer, and he doesn't seem able to man fight either the Mirana or the Lone Druid especially when they pop their BKBs. So
Prophet's getting there. He has the Bloodthorn almost finished. Well, not almost, like maybe 2k away.
And that's essential against Sumail for that true strike for the team. That said Sumail.
Oh, not MKB. Sorry, Bloodthorn. I said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, when you use the active.
You talk about true strikes. Did I say MKB? Because I always say the wrong thing.
You're tripping, Lumi. You're tripping.
You're making me doubt myself.
How am I making you doubt yourself? You're just doubting yourself.
Nah, I never doubt myself. EG. So let's talk about a triple arrow, because it seems really memey, and we already talked about how much of a big factor the leap attack speed for your whole team is. Do you think that the triple arrow is actually good here, or it forces heroes to kind of reposition, and sometimes you just get a straight arrow hit, but the guarantee of the leap bonus.
I thought for sure he was going to go for the leap, to be honest. I guess it's very annoying, like during Chronosphere, like where no matter where you run, there's like a pretty good chance that you're going to get arrowed. It's also a nice scouting tool. It's just spray and pray from Sumail. I guess that's the idea, right? You just keep on spraying and praying, and maybe one of these arrows connects, and then you have an opening.
I mean, you're looking at this push, and I guess the attack speed bonus is not necessary, right? Like, a Treezy is just going to hit things.
It's excessive. There's the Bloodthorn that you mentioned. Buybacks are completely lacking. Only Lone Druid has one. That's
the arrow?
one hero that's been caught, but the arrow comes through. Matumba's gonna run. Now the BKB from Arteezy on the chase, diving towards Kuro, who's been silenced. He gets the wards off in a decent position, protecting the racks at least for now. But Sumail, though he has been controlled by mind control, there isn't the damage pop to kill him off. Matumba lunges back in. He might just drop. They can't deal with Sumail. Oh, then they get the silence off. They will bring him down once. The Aegis is there, though. Lone Druid buyback also available if he needs it. So they've got extra life. The curse comes through. Matumba's dead. He still doesn't have to buy back. Now charging forward his Universe Arteezy cleans up.
God.
5-man wipe. EG saved the day. Make it 3-3 for them and a first loss at the International for Liquid. There will be no undefeated until tomorrow.
Oh man, this game just makes me want to think, why is it not a best of 3? Like, these two teams are so good playing against each other. That last team fight, that curse, he blinked in, used Splinter Blast to break the Lincolns, and then just BAM! That was a knockout punch. Great play by Crit.
It was very difficult for Liquid to come back. I think the way the game developed, I do feel like the Silencer just didn't get what they wanted out of the hero. He didn't shut down either of the cores. I like the way EG itemized, going for the early BKBs on both the the Manta on the Mirana, the BKB on the Lone Druid, so that they would be able to just consistently dish out damage in fights. And I mean, I think if that was like, say, I don't know, a Storm or an Ember who's super spell reliant, and you get timely globals that shut them down early, it could have been a lot different. But
yeah,
EG adapted well.
I really like the...
Maybe Liquid need to reconsider when they pick the Silencer.
I really love how Arteezy kind of took us back to the times where the baby Arteezy was playing the hard carry. I really felt that this game he put the team on the shoulder, especially through the first 25 minutes when Sumail, like we pointed out, was slowly ramping up on the Mirana. His contribution, he was able to take down so many towers and win so many team fights for them. So I guess we don't need to say that Artur is a good player, but he definitely, to me, he's
not washed up yet, that's for sure.
Oh no, far from it.
Raise your baby rages if you're an EG fan. They saved the day. They are 3-3 now, and they have had some stiff competition, but still Liquid, the real winners of day one, as they are 5-1 and looking fantastic heading into the later stages of the group. So guys, thank you so much for joining me and Lumi. That is going to wrap it up here as far as the gameplay action goes. I believe we'll have the panel wrapping up the day, and then day 2. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you next time.